zeros. Now we jump for some thousand years. We jump from imperial Rome to royalties in Paris and London in Baroque times. And since you come from Krakau, which is again a model for royal sumptuous life, in closed-door incidents with the church, who owns most of the properties in Krakau. So they have a very special course there at the university, at Jagiellonen-Universität. There you can actually study quality sciences. And I'm very proud to present you Róża, who has made even a doctor title in quality management. And since she is now talking about another kind of cultural policy, very close to that imperial, what Gregor Fuchs-Spira just told us, I'm proud that you have come. He's, believe me, not many kilometers from Krakow to this. It's yours, the floor.
Sehr geehrter Herr Professor, sehr geehrte Gäste, meine Damen und Herren, I'm deeply honored to be here today. Vielen Dank. And of course, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my mentor, Herr Professor Matthias Vogt, for the great privilege of inviting me to this special event. And today I'd like to shed some light on my research, which combines history of arts and music, and scientific management. So I strongly believe that understanding the cultural policies of the Baroque era can provide very valuable insights into contemporary cultural policies. And today, cultural policies are often formed through a combination of government support, private patronage, and institutional frameworks. And these policies aim to promote cultural diversity, heritage preservation, and the arts as essential components of social and economic development. By examining the historical precedents set by royal cultural policies, we can see how the interplay between power, culture, and identity has evolved over time. And in early modern periods spanning from the 17th and 18th century, it was a time of rapid political, social, and cultural changes. In this era, we saw the rise of absolutism with central power in the hands of monarch, leading to increased bureaucracy and extended state apparatus. Significant scientific advancements and the emergence of rationalism, emphasizing reason and empirical evidence, also marked this period. These changes in politics, culture, and science greatly influenced the development of artistic patronage at royal courts and in broader society. So let's begin with a very specific definition of cultural policy, the royal cultural policy, which refers to deliberate and strategic actions taken by monarchs to cultivate, promote, and sustain cultural and artistic achievements within their realms. And this encompasses patronage of arts, support for education and intellectual pursuits, and the commissioning of architectural projects as well. Such policies are designed to enhance the prestige and authority of the monarchy, unify the nation under shared cultural symbols, and project power and sophistication both domestically and internationally. Therefore, royal cultural policy does not deviate significantly from today's standards of cultural policy making, as similar principles can also be identified nowadays. However, it's important to know that in the circumstances of the time, these actions led to the exercise of artistic patronage. The concept of artistic patronage is primarily associated with the broad spectrum of supporting artists and is usually a long-term process, Consequently, artistic patronage significantly contributed to the creation of exceptional works of art, and royal courts automatically functioned as the most important cultural centers, attracting outstanding artists. And therefore, all those pieces put on the slide come together to form a larger whole. And now let's immerse to the grandeur of the Baroque era, where the court of Louis XIV emerges as the epitome of cultural opulence and artistic patronage. Known as the Sun King, Louis XIV's reign from 1643 to 1715, it marked a pinnacle of royal authority and cultural flourishing in France. At the heart of the splendor was his court at Versailles, a symbol of power, prestige, and unparalleled artistic expression. So I chose the example of Louis XIV for my speech because he epitomizes the essence of royal cultural policy during the Baroque era. And his reign highlights the intersection of power, art, and governance, perfectly illustrating how a monarch can shape and influence the cultural landscape. His court serves as an exemplary model of how a ruler's vision and authority can create a lasting legacy of artistic and cultural excellence. It was a period of immense cultural development and promotion, often referred by French historians as le grand siècle, so the great century. The monarch personally identified with Apollo himself, so the god of peace and the arts, and even he'd chosen the sun as his personal emblem, considering it the greatest of all celestial bodies. Just as the sun casts the light upon the world, the magnificence of Louis XIV was meant to be boundless. And his motto, Nec pluribus impar, perfectly reflects his aspiration for absolute monarchy. So it was a motto that reflected not only his personal ambition, but also the goal towards which his entire administration strived. This phrase served as a guiding idea that shaped the actions of the court from foreign policy to artistic patronage. And art and culture were used as tools to maintain and promote this vision, highlighting both Louis's power and France's status as a dominant force in Europe. During the Baroque era, royal cultural policy encompassed a multifaceted approach to arts and culture, orchestrated by the monarch to solidify authority and enhance national cultural identity. Louis XIV's patronage spanned painting, sculpture, architecture, and music, using fine arts as a state propaganda to reinforce his absolute power. New positions and supervisory committees were established, with artists working under strict schedules and creating commissioned works to high standards. Artwork commissions followed into two main processes. So, direct transmission from the monarch to royal secretaries or artists, and initiatives from high-ranking officials as a part of the propaganda plan itself. Contracts, known as marchés, required high-quality work for the king. At Louis XIV's court, official and artists had specialized roles crucial for maintaining the monarch's prestige. Key figures, including François-Michel Letellier, who was responsible for managing royal correspondence, and Jean-Baptiste Colbert de Tossy, handling diplomacy and financial management. Chamberlains and marshals managed royal residences and ceremonies. And the famous Colbert, as finance minister, also, coincidentally, founded the arts and promoted cultural development, managing the Versailles patronage system and official institutions. Court artists, officially appointed, held very prestigious and recognizable titles, and even certain performers had very specialized positions. There was also even a separate department created temporarily for constructing and costumes for festivities. And even the king decided to prepare lavish books and promote his image for a certain engraving to be sent to foreign rulers, and commemorated city events honoring him with grand publications. So let's immerse ourselves for a moment in this royal microcosm, where the court became a metaphor for the universe and the monarch, the central star, to which all known light turns. These exquisite spheres of power, wealth, and influence, filled with brilliant individuals and glittering ornaments, remind us of the earthly vision of the cosmic harmony. Louis XIV mastered grand ceremonies and rituals, reflecting his refined interest in art and aesthetics. He surrounded himself with mistresses and lovers, like muses, and brought foreign artists to his court to promote French culture. As a connoisseur and adept in music, dance, writing, and other arts, he personally appreciated craftsmanship and often performed on stage to underscore his possession. And here we can admire him in all his glory. So Louis, as the prologue, presented near divine authority, laying bureaucratic foundations for absolutism. And his dazzling ceremonies set trends across Europe with spectacles drawing from mythology and legends. Of course. Yes. Sorry. So let me just also mention that a very important thing is his legacy, as it was really about formalizing certain aesthetic principles, and he established many important significant institutions. And also, his legacy is marked by his attention to details, was very meticulously put together to culture the splendor of the court of the Versailles. So announcing the course of the 17th and 18th century, it opens up the fascinating prospects for further research. And studies on rulers' management styles and expanding research to other periods and reigns can yield insight into the evolution of management practices. So future work may focus on the impact of artistic patronage on management, identifying strategies, and foster culture and art. Thank you.